Hi, welcome to Steam Chats Wrestling, hashtag SCW right here on youtube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. You can subscribe right now, leave any comments in the comment section, like and share the video. Now, this one could be quite controversial. Shane McMahon as SmackDown Commissioner, for me, is going to flop. It's not going to work, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, we look back to when Shane McMahon came back into WWE and said that it was time for a new era, a change of the guard. Things need fresher faces, things at the top. They need to change. It needs to be all about the wrestling, less about the politics. Now, for me, looking at things since the WWE draft, this is where I feel that Shane McMahon is going to fail, because it made sense at the time for him to be on SmackDown because he didn't win his WrestleMania match. But you look now at Raw and SmackDown, Stephanie McMahon was meant to be the one stuck in the past, yet she's the one with all the future on her show. You could argue that maybe Shane McMahon has some of the people he supposedly debuted on Raw with Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, they're all villains as well with Raw and SmackDown, but he didn't get Enzo and Big Cass. But you look at a lot of the people that are kind of the new blood going forward, a lot of them are on Raw. Only American Alpha was given to SmackDown for the future. I mean, Finn Balor is on Raw. So you kind of look at it and say that they've kind of got the old guard as well, John Cena, Randy Orton, we've got The Miz, you know, we've got those kind of people that have been there for a long time, Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, that have been and done it all before. And then we look to the signings that are coming in. Rhino is the hottest free agent. It's old school, it's not new school. Shelton Benjamin is coming back. It's old school, it's not new school. We've had rumours as well that Nikki Bella will come to SmackDown when she comes back in. Of course, that makes sense. She goes out with John Cena. She's related to Brie Bella, who's married to Daniel Bryan, so it does make sense for that. But still, the women's revolution, is all on Raw. It's not on SmackDown. We've got Becky Lynch on SmackDown, but you look at Sasha Banks and Charlotte and everyone like that, they're on Raw. Nia Jax, the new evolution of these people are on Raw, not SmackDown. So it makes you think as well, what happens with Bayley when she comes in? Will she go to Raw or SmackDown? Chances are she's probably going to go to Raw, because that's where the fresher brand is and that's where the championship is, where she's eventually going to challenge for. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But for me, if the new era and new stars and new fresh blood things, Shane McMahon should be going for people that have not been in WWE before. Maybe look when these NXT call-ups come again. It still doesn't make sense that Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries were not used in the draft in any shape or form for either brand. Really, when you look at they are still NXT and Mojo Rawley is called up to the main roster, it's a bit of a joke really, but of course that's WWE's way of saying you need to do your turn and your time in NXT. I understand all that. And NXT still needs to be strong going forward with Brooklyn 2 coming up as well, which they're going to do pretty handsomely. But you look outside there, what could they do? I mean, what about people like the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, people like outside of WWE that they potentially wanted to sign before and bring into the company? What happened to those guys? Instead, we're seeing rumours of the likes of MVP, Tommy Dreamer, who are not coming back now, but were rumoured. And we see Shelton Benjamin, who is coming back, he's a great athlete and still a lot to offer, but he's not screaming what Shane McMahon's argument was, which was the new era, new blood, and time for the wrestlers to make their decisions and get to the top. Now, part of it still can come right, but for me, really, as a new era, SmackDown kind of still feels like the WWE from like 2012. A lot of those sort of stars are in that time, with just a few people now that are added in as well, like a Bray Wyatt if you want. I mean, Dean Ambrose has a changed gimmick from 2012, but still, it's a lot of the old guard, and that's why I kind of feel that deep down, Raw is probably going to be the one that's going to prosper. I still think SmackDown's going to be a great show, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing SmackDown as a brand. I like SmackDown. I just think that as Shane McMahon and what his principles were coming in, they are not being used. And that's where I think that maybe there's going to be a disconnect from him in the long term of this. And I don't see him being still involved on camera if this is going to be the way in a year's or 2 years' time. I do think that there'll be a change there somewhere. So let me know if you disagree, because I'm sure there'll be a few that will disagree with this video, but that's definitely my point of view on the situation. Anyway, I think that Raw is kind of what Shane McMahon should have had, and Stephanie should have been with the SmackDown, whether it been a reverse rosters or whatever. It would have made more sense for Stephanie to be the, not out of touch as such, but she was supposedly the one taking the company down. She's definitely turned it around and got the right stars, got the right sort of, changes to the look of the show, and commentary and all that sort of stuff, and it just kind of feels that Raw is the fresher one, and it just kind of feels at the moment that the new era is a part of Raw, and SmackDown has kind of got some of the old guard. Maybe that's just because of the fact it's helping ratings, maybe that's, but for me, whatever the reason is, it kind of doesn't make Shane McMahon look as good as he could do. That's just my view anyway. But let me know your feelings in the comment section anyway. You've been watching Steve Chats Wrestling right here on youtube.com. Think of choosing the channel and subscribe.